Let's talk real quick. Ashlee, Janae moving to Kenya. Let's talk real quick, right? I want to talk first about the lady who lost her life in Zanzibar. Up until that point where she had left and went there, she was trolling black man the entire time. She was trolling black man, right? And she went there, lost her life. Listen, just because you think that you live in an all-white community now and that is somehow better, is somehow mystique, you still got to put up with their mess that you just haven't seen yet. It hasn't been exposed to you. But of course, the world knows, like, the whole Karen, the whole, like we just saying, he unalived her, right? And they're calling it a questionable death. Like, no, we know he unalived her. We know that, right? Um, and it's simple why he did it, right? If you're going to a place like Africa, right, and you're seeing how people really are, you're seeing how easy people are, you're seeing how nice people are, you're seeing how simple people are, you know. Of course, she's going to take to those people more so than what she just left. This whole dynamic between white males and black males arguing with each other over what's exampled to be the prize, a black woman. He did what he did. It doesn't make it right, but we kind of knew what it was going to be. We kind of knew what it was going to be. She set herself up for that. Her mother set her up for that. Her mother has like all these biracial children, and she's like the only fully colored child that she has and whatnot. How do you piece that together, right? You're growing up in a house where people have a difference in their mindset, right? A different outlook on how things should be. Her mother set her up for that. Her mother set her up for failure. I don't look at it like she shouldn't have been with him. She should have. I don't look at it either way. You know, what was the purpose? To make black men mad? Now look, those same black men are looking at her like, you just lost your life. Now don't expect me to be a vigilant to bring evidence to why this man took her life or whatnot. That's not my job to do that. Um, he may get away with this. He may not. But it's a good thing that it's a lot of people speaking about it. Um, you know, these men come out of nowhere with all this money, and you wonder, like, how's this person doing this? How's this person? Because they're giving these women this money in order for favors. We know how this go. This is not the first ride we've taken. All these women that go on expensive trips and, live lavish lives, they're doing so because men are enabling them. You know what I mean? Like, they're enabling them. You wonder what happened to the contract that was supposed to go to your community? Somebody jagged it off, giving it to this woman. It happens like that all the time. Now, I want to move over to this other topic. Moving to Kenya, moving to Nairobi, wanting to see better and bigger things than what you've used to seeing in America, right? The expat programs, the visa programs or whatnot. Listen, if you want to move over there, and you want to sell everything you have in America, you want to start a new life, go ahead. Go ahead. Because wherever you go, you still are going to have to work for your spot in the economy. You're still going to have to work. We know Africa is on the up. We know this. But you shouldn't go to Africa, right? To live the city life and expecting it to be the same way as it is in America. Even when you live this way in America, right? The more abundance of living comes from when you have land, when you have housing, when you have land. It doesn't come from living in a one-bedroom space, going outside in the middle of the day to walk around and see who you can meet. It doesn't come from that. It comes from community. Well, all the people who have community, they're in the villages. So people complain about, it wasn't what I expected, right? That's because you wasn't with the Kisi. You wasn't with the Kikuyu. You wasn't with those people. You was in a city thinking it was going to be one way and it didn't turn out to be that way. And even then, I wouldn't sell everything I have in America just to go over there and live with them, because they wouldn't view me the same way as I would view them. You know what I mean? They wouldn't view me as like one of them. They looking at me like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, the man already, ticked off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you around a woman. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to be a favorable stance. You know what I mean? It's not going to be favorable. So don't put all your eggs in a one basket like that. You in America, stay in America. Because you also got to think about this, right? When you go to these places, right? What if you catch malaria? Maybe if you care about these people so much, why don't you try to bring them over here? You know what I mean? Like, bring them over to America and like create a community with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you probably want to create a community with black and brown people. Create a community with the people in Africa. Here. Try to get them over here. That's just me speaking in my alternate mind, right? Because people, they expect a place to be a certain way and it doesn't turn out to be that way, and then they dislike it or whatnot. There's a lot of people going to Thailand. There's a lot of people going to Vietnam. There's a lot of people going to all these places in Asia. You know what I'm saying? And some of them, they're loving it. They're loving it. They're loving it. But we're looking at people that's probably never been to these places and they're expecting it to be one way and it's not that way. You know what I mean? Because, you know, wherever you go, right, it's gonna you're gonna have to live the way that they live. I heard a woman who was African, right? She said she wouldn't want to live in Africa no more because she don't like the traditional cultures. She don't like that whole traditionality that goes along with living there. She don't like doing ways she don't like doing things the way that the people do it. She doesn't like doing things the way that the people do it over there because it's outdated. It's it's she likes the American life. She likes living in America. So who's to say that it may be a different opinion for someone else who's never been there? Who knows? Um, I want to go to travel to Africa one day. But like I have to be mindful of the fact that there's Africans living here. There's probably Africans in your city and you don't even know it. You know, and some of them are like Black Americans. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are, more accustomed to being who they really are, who they should be. Right? Like they shouldn't change who they are in order to appease someone. Um, and that's just how it is. But you know, I wouldn't just say I'm going to up and leave and sell all my things and go to Kenya. I wouldn't do that, you know, because there's politics. There's politics. They may not want me moving into that land. You know what I mean? They may not want me moving into that land. So, you know, there's one thing. Great peace, Yakoki.